Imagine being told that your ideas are impossible, that your company will fail, that you're risking everything you own. Most people would give up. But one man kept going. He faced failure after failure, lost millions of dollars, worked day and night, and refused to stop believing in his vision. Today, he is one of the most influential entrepreneurs in the world. His companies have changed the way we pay online, build electric cars, explore space, and even think about the future of artificial intelligence. But his journey wasn't easy. It was filled with rejection, risk, criticism, and extraordinary determination. Hello, my amazing students. My name is Sarah, and today we're going to learn English through the incredible life story of Elon Musk. We'll discover how a curious boy from South Africa became one of the world's most famous innovators. We'll explore his early life, the creation of PayPal, the rise of SpaceX, the revolution of Tesla, his vision for the future, and the valuable lessons we can all learn from his successes and failures. As you listen, you'll improve your English vocabulary, your listening comprehension, your pronunciation, and your ability to understand natural English through a real-life biography. Remember, this isn't just the story of a billionaire. It's the story of curiosity, persistence, risk-taking, and believing in ideas that most people thought were impossible. We'll explore Elon Musk's life through 5 chapters. Chapter number 1, Elon Musk's childhood and early dreams. Chapter number 2, from Zip2 to PayPal, his first successes. Chapter number 3, Tesla and SpaceX, building companies that change the world. Chapter number 4, challenges, failures, and controversies. And finally, chapter number 5, Elon Musk's legacy and the lessons we can learn. Let's begin with chapter number 1, Elon Musk's childhood and early dreams. Before we start, can I ask you one question? A year from now, will your English be better than it is today, or will you still be saying, "I'll start next week"? The truth is, most people don't fail because English is difficult. They fail because they never truly commit to it. That's why, for a limited time, I've reduced the price of the Native Flow English coaching experience to just $5. Not because it's worth only $5, but because I don't want money to be the reason you never start. For less than the price of a coffee, you can begin building a skill that can stay with you for the rest of your life. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Click the link in the description. Join us today, and I'll see you inside. Now, let's begin today's lesson. Chapter number 1, Elon Musk's childhood and early dreams. Long before Elon Musk became one of the richest and most famous entrepreneurs in the world, he was simply a quiet boy with an extraordinary curiosity. Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. From a very young age, he loved asking questions. How do machines work? Why do rockets fly? Could humans one day live on another planet? Unlike many children, he didn't stop asking those questions. He wanted to find the answers. His mother, Mae Musk, worked as a model and dietitian. His father, Errol Musk, was an engineer. Growing up, Elon was surrounded by books, ideas, and technical discussions. But his childhood wasn't always easy. At school, he was often quiet and preferred reading to playing sports. Some classmates saw him as different. He was bullied several times. In interviews, Elon has spoken about being physically bullied during his school years, describing those experiences as painful and difficult. Many people would have allowed those experiences to destroy their confidence. Instead, Elon escaped into books. Books became his teachers, his friends, and his inspiration. He read almost everything he could find: science fiction, history, philosophy, technology, biographies. Some people who knew him have said he could spend hours reading every single day. One of the books that deeply influenced him was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. The book didn't simply entertain him. It encouraged him to think about humanity, the future, and solving important problems. That idea stayed with him throughout his life. As a child, he also became fascinated by computers. Remember, this was during a time when home computers were still relatively new. Learning to program wasn't as easy as opening a YouTube tutorial. There was no YouTube, no online coding courses, no AI assistants. Most people learned by reading manuals and experimenting on their own. That's exactly what Elon did. At around 12 years old, he taught himself computer programming, not because someone forced him to, because he genuinely enjoyed solving problems. Soon, he created a simple video game called Blastar. It wasn't a modern game with incredible graphics. It was very simple. But something remarkable happened. He sold the game's code to a computer magazine. For a 12-year-old boy, earning money from something he had built himself was an exciting achievement. More importantly, it taught him a lesson that would shape his future. Ideas can become real products, and products can change your life. As Elon grew older, he became increasingly interested in technology, engineering, and space exploration. While many teenagers dreamed about becoming famous athletes or musicians, Elon dreamed about building rockets, improving transportation, and helping humanity become a multi-planetary species. Those dreams sounded impossible. Most people would have laughed. In fact, many people did. But Elon wasn't looking for easy goals. He believed that if a problem was important enough, it was worth trying to solve, even if success wasn't guaranteed. At the age of 17, he made another life-changing decision. He left South Africa and moved to Canada. One reason was that he wanted new educational and professional opportunities. Later, he moved to the United States to continue his studies. He attended the University of Pennsylvania, where he studied physics and economics. Those two subjects reflected the way he thought. Physics helped him understand how the world works. Economics helped him understand how businesses work. Together, they would become the foundation of his future companies. After graduating, he was accepted into a PhD program at Stanford University. But something unexpected happened. He stayed for only 2 days. Why? Because the internet was beginning to transform the world. Elon believed that building companies during the internet revolution would have a greater impact than continuing his academic studies. Leaving one of the world's best universities after only 2 days sounded like a crazy decision. Many people would have chosen the safe path. Elon chose the uncertain one. Looking back, that decision completely changed his life. It marked the beginning of an extraordinary entrepreneurial journey that would eventually lead to companies like Zip2, PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, and many others. The quiet boy who loved reading books and asking impossible questions was about to enter the business world. And his first company would become the first step toward changing the future of technology. Chapter number 2. From Zip2 to PayPal. His first successes. When Elon Musk left Stanford University after only 2 days, many people thought he had made a terrible mistake. He had given up the opportunity to earn a prestigious PhD. There was no guarantee that his business ideas would succeed. But Elon believed he was standing at the beginning of something much bigger. The internet was growing rapidly. Every day, more people were connecting to the online world. Elon saw opportunities where others saw uncertainty. Together with his brother, Kimball Musk, he founded his first company in 1995. It was called Zip2. At first, life as an entrepreneur was far from glamorous. The two brothers didn't have much money. Instead of renting an apartment, they often slept in their small office. They showered at a nearby gym. During the day, they wrote computer code. At night, they continued improving their product. Sometimes they worked almost without stopping. Their goal was simple. They wanted to help newspapers enter the digital age. Back then, many newspapers were still focused almost entirely on printed editions. Zip2 developed software that helped newspapers create online city guides and business directories. Today, that might sound ordinary, but in the mid-1990s, it was a completely new idea. Convincing customers wasn't easy. Many newspaper companies didn't fully understand the internet. Some believed it would never become important. Others were afraid to change the way they had always worked. Elon and his brother spent countless hours meeting potential clients, explaining their vision, and trying to earn their trust. Little by little, their hard work began to pay off. Large newspapers started using Zip2's software. The company grew. Investors became interested. The small startup that had once struggled to survive was becoming a real business. Then, in 1999, a major technology company called Compaq decided to buy Zip2. The deal was worth more than $300 million. For Elon, who was only in his 20s, it was a life-changing moment. He became a millionaire. Many people would have stopped there. After all, he had already achieved financial success. He could have retired comfortably. But Elon wasn't motivated only by money. He wanted to build bigger companies, solve larger problems, and create products that could change the future. Instead of relaxing, he immediately invested much of his own money into another startup. This new company was called X.com. Its goal was ambitious. Elon believed that banking should become much easier through the internet. At that time, many people still visited banks to complete simple transactions. Online payments were uncommon. Some people didn't trust them at all. Again, Elon saw an opportunity that others overlooked. X.com allowed people to manage money online in ways that felt revolutionary at the time. Eventually, X.com merged with another online payment company called Confinity. After the merger, the company focused on one product that was becoming incredibly popular. Its name was PayPal. PayPal made sending and receiving money online much faster and easier. Instead of writing checks or waiting days for payments, people could transfer money with just a few clicks. As internet shopping became more popular, PayPal grew rapidly alongside it. Of course, The journey wasn't perfect. Like many startups, the company experienced disagreements. Different leaders had different visions for the future. Elon himself faced criticism and internal conflicts. At one point, he was replaced as the company's CEO. For many entrepreneurs, that kind of setback would have felt devastating. But Elon didn't allow one disappointment to define his future. He remained one of PayPal's largest shareholders and continued believing in the company's potential. Then, in 2002, another extraordinary opportunity arrived. Online marketplace eBay announced that it would buy PayPal for $1.5 billion. The acquisition became one of the biggest technology deals of its time, because Elon still owned a significant share of the company. He received hundreds of millions of dollars from the sale. For most people, that amount of money would have meant the end of their working lives. Financial freedom had finally arrived. But Elon saw something completely different. He didn't ask, "How can I protect my fortune?" He asked, "What impossible problem should I solve next?" Instead of keeping his wealth safely in the bank, he invested enormous amounts of his own money into two industries that many experts believed were almost impossible to change: electric cars and private space exploration. Friends warned him. Investors questioned him. Many people thought he was risking everything he had earned. Some even believed he would lose it all. But Elon had already learned one of the biggest lessons of entrepreneurship. Sometimes, the greatest opportunities require the greatest courage. The success of Zip2 and PayPal gave him the resources. Now he was preparing to chase dreams that seemed far bigger than anything he had attempted before. Dreams that would eventually become Tesla and SpaceX. Chapter number 3, Tesla and SpaceX, Building Companies That Changed the World. By 2002, Elon Musk had already earned hundreds of millions of dollars from the sale of PayPal. Most people would have slowed down. They would have bought luxurious homes, traveled the world, and invested their money safely. But Elon had a completely different vision. He believed humanity faced enormous challenges that couldn't be solved by playing it safe. Instead of asking, "How can I become richer?" he asked, "How can I help build the future?" That question led him to two industries that many experts believed were almost impossible to change. The first was space exploration. The second was transportation. Let's begin with space. In 2002, Elon founded a company called SpaceX. Its mission sounded almost unbelievable. He wanted to reduce the cost of space travel and eventually make it possible for humans to live on Mars. At the time, many people laughed. Private companies didn't build rockets. That was something only governments and national space agencies did. Friends told him the idea was unrealistic. Experts predicted the company would fail. But Elon believed something important. If rockets could be reused instead of thrown away after one launch, space travel could become much cheaper. The idea seemed simple. Making it happen was incredibly difficult. The early years of SpaceX were filled with failure. The company built its first rockets, tested them, and watched them explode. The first launch failed. The second launch failed. The third launch also failed. Each failure cost millions of dollars. News articles began questioning whether the company would survive. Some people believed Elon had wasted his fortune chasing an impossible dream. Financially, the situation became extremely dangerous. He had invested much of his own money into SpaceX. If the next launch failed, the company might disappear forever. Then, in 2008, everything changed. The fourth launch finally succeeded. For the first time, a privately developed rocket successfully reached orbit. It was a historic achievement. Soon afterward, NASA awarded SpaceX a major contract. The company that many people had dismissed was suddenly working with one of the world's most respected space agencies. That success saved SpaceX. Today, SpaceX has transformed the space industry. Its reusable Falcon rockets have dramatically reduced the cost of launching satellites and spacecraft. The company also developed the Dragon spacecraft, which carries cargo and astronauts to the International Space Station. More recently, its Starship program aims to support future missions to the Moon and Mars. While SpaceX was fighting for survival, Elon faced another enormous challenge: Tesla. Many people believe Elon founded Tesla. In reality, Tesla was created by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning in 2003. Elon joined shortly afterward as an early investor and later became deeply involved in leading the company. At the time, electric cars were not popular. Many people believed they were slow, unattractive, and impractical. The world's largest car companies focused almost entirely on gasoline-powered vehicles. Again, Elon believed the future could be different. Tesla wasn't trying to build just another electric car. It wanted to prove that electric vehicles could be fast, beautiful, safe, and exciting to drive. The journey was anything but easy. Producing cars required enormous factories, complex engineering, and billions of dollars. The company faced production delays, financial problems, supply chain challenges, and constant criticism. In 2008, Tesla was also close to running out of money. Elon later admitted that both Tesla and SpaceX were in serious financial trouble at the same time. There were moments when he believed he could lose everything. Instead of giving up, he continued investing his own money and searching for solutions. Little by little, Tesla began improving its technology. The company introduced vehicles with longer driving ranges, better performance, and advanced software. As public interest in electric vehicles grew, Tesla became one of the most valuable automobile companies in the world. Its success also encouraged many traditional car manufacturers to accelerate their own electric vehicle programs. In that sense, Tesla didn't just build successful cars, it helped change the entire automotive industry. Looking back, it's easy to see only the success. The rockets landing safely, the electric cars on roads around the world, the headlines celebrating innovation. But behind every achievement were years of uncertainty, long working hours, expensive failures, and moments when many people believed success was impossible. Elon Musk's story reminds us that extraordinary goals often require extraordinary persistence. Great achievements rarely happen because everything goes according to plan. They happen because someone refuses to stop after repeated setbacks. Whether you admire every decision he has made or not, there is one lesson that is difficult to ignore. Some of the biggest changes in history begin with people who are willing to pursue ideas that others consider impossible. Chapter number 4: Challenges, Failures, and Controversies. When people look at Elon Musk today, they often see success. They see the world's richest person, successful companies, rocket launches, electric cars, millions of followers. But success stories can sometimes hide the difficult chapters that came before them. If you only look at the final result, you miss the lessons that made success possible. One of the most difficult periods in Elon's life came in 2008. It was a year he has described as one of the hardest he had ever experienced. At the same time, both Tesla and SpaceX were facing serious financial problems. SpaceX had already experienced 3 failed rocket launches. Each launch had cost millions of dollars. Investors were losing confidence. Many experts believed the company would soon disappear. Tesla was also struggling. The company faced production delays, financial pressure, and growing criticism. Elon had invested much of his own fortune into both companies. He later explained that he had almost run out of money. For the first time, he faced the real possibility of losing everything. Imagine building 2 companies for years, working almost every day, investing nearly all your savings, and still wondering whether both businesses might fail. Many people would have walked away. But Elon didn't. He continued searching for solutions. He continued raising money. He continued believing that the companies still had a future. Eventually, SpaceX successfully launched its 4th rocket. Soon after, NASA awarded the company an important contract. That contract helped save SpaceX. Around the same time, Tesla secured new investment that allowed it to continue operating. Sometimes, success depends on surviving one more difficult day. Another challenge Elon has faced throughout his career is criticism. Because he shares ambitious ideas, he also receives strong opinions from supporters and critics alike. Some people admire his willingness to think differently. Others believe some of his promises are too optimistic. For example, he has often announced ambitious timelines for new technologies. In several cases, those goals took much longer to achieve than originally expected. Supporters argue that setting bold goals encourages innovation. Critics argue that expectations should be more realistic. Whether people agree or disagree, one thing is clear: Elon is rarely afraid to think big. His leadership style has also received significant attention. Former employees have described him as extremely demanding. He is known for expecting long working hours, high performance, and rapid progress. Some people appreciate this fast-paced environment because they enjoy solving difficult problems. Others have said the pressure can be exhausting. Different people experience leadership in different ways. Another area that has generated discussion is his activity on social media. Elon often shares his opinions directly with millions of people. Sometimes his messages receive praise. Other times, they create controversy. His comments have occasionally influenced public discussions, financial markets, and even the prices of certain companies and digital assets. This reminds us that public figures often face intense attention. Every statement they make can be analyzed by millions of people around the world. In 2022, Elon Musk also purchased the social media platform Twitter, which was later renamed X. He explained that he wanted to encourage what he described as greater freedom of expression on the platform. The acquisition received both support and criticism. Some people welcomed the changes. Others questioned certain decisions related to content moderation, company management, and business strategy. Like many major business decisions, people continue to hold different opinions, and that's an important lesson. Successful people are rarely admired by everyone. The more influential someone becomes, the more likely they are to receive both praise and criticism. Another interesting lesson from Elon's journey is that failure never completely disappeared from his life. Even after becoming successful, new challenges continued to appear. Products faced delays. Rocket tests sometimes failed. Business decisions were questioned. Markets changed. Competition increased. Success didn't eliminate problems. It simply gave him different problems to solve. This is true for almost every successful person. Reaching one goal doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. It means new responsibilities begin. Perhaps the biggest lesson from this chapter is that no successful career is perfect. Every entrepreneur makes mistakes. Every leader faces criticism. Every ambitious project encounters obstacles. The difference is not avoiding difficulties. The difference is continuing to learn from them. Whether you admire every decision Elon Musk has made or not, his journey shows that innovation often requires accepting uncertainty. It requires making difficult decisions, taking responsibility, and continuing to move forward even when many people doubt your vision. Success is rarely a straight line. It's a path filled with setbacks, lessons, adjustments, and persistence. And sometimes, the people who change the world the most are simply the ones who refuse to stop after others have already given up. Chapter number 5. Elon Musk's legacy and the lessons we can learn. When history looks back at Elon Musk, people will probably remember the rockets, the electric cars, the companies, and the headlines. But perhaps his greatest legacy isn't any single product. It's the way he challenged people to think differently about what is possible. Before SpaceX, many experts believed that private companies could never compete in space exploration. Today, private rockets regularly carry satellites, supplies, and astronauts into space. Before Tesla became successful, many people thought electric cars would always remain a small niche market. Today, almost every major car manufacturer is investing heavily in electric vehicles. Whether someone agrees with all of Elon's ideas or not, it's difficult to deny that he has influenced entire industries. His work encouraged competitors to innovate faster, governments to invest more in clean energy, and entrepreneurs to think bigger. That's one of the remarkable things about innovation. Sometimes, one person's vision inspires thousands of other people to create something new. But perhaps the most valuable lessons from Elon's journey have nothing to do with rockets or cars. They have everything to do with mindset. The first lesson is to stay curious, even as a child. Elon constantly asked questions. He didn't accept simple answers. He wanted to understand how things worked. Curiosity became the foundation of his success. The world changes because curious people continue asking why and what if. The second lesson is to keep learning. Elon has often spoken about reading books throughout his life. He didn't limit himself to one subject. He studied science, engineering, history, economics, business, and philosophy. Great ideas often appear when knowledge from different fields comes together. That's a powerful reminder for anyone learning English. Every book you read, every lesson you complete, every new word you learn becomes another tool for your future. The third lesson is to accept failure as part of progress. Many people fear making mistakes. They avoid difficult challenges because they don't want to fail. Elon's story teaches something different. Some of his biggest achievements came only after repeated failures. 3 rockets exploded before one finally reached orbit. Tesla experienced years of financial struggles before becoming successful. Failure wasn't the opposite of success. It became part of the journey toward success. Another lesson is the importance of long-term thinking. Most people focus on today's problems. Successful innovators often think years or even decades ahead. When Elon talks about renewable energy, space exploration, or artificial intelligence, he often discusses the future rather than the present. Whether those predictions always become reality is another question, but thinking long-term helps people prepare for tomorrow instead of reacting only to today. There's also an important lesson about courage. Starting a business is difficult. Investing your own money is risky. Working on ideas that most people criticize requires confidence. Courage doesn't mean never feeling afraid. It means moving forward despite uncertainty. At the same time, Elon's story reminds us that success is never perfect. Even successful people receive criticism. They make mistakes. Some decisions succeed, others don't. No entrepreneur, no leader, and no innovator gets everything right. That's why it's important to admire ideas without believing any person is perfect. Every public figure has strengths, weaknesses, successes, and failures. The wisest approach is to learn from what they do well, while also thinking critically about their decisions. As we finish today's story, remember that Elon Musk's life isn't simply about becoming wealthy. It's about asking difficult questions, taking calculated risks, working hard, learning continuously, and refusing to stop after setbacks. Whether your dream is to become an engineer, a teacher, a doctor, an artist, or simply a better version of yourself, the same principles apply. Stay curious. Keep learning. Don't let failure define you. Think long-term and never stop improving. One small idea, one book, one conversation, or one decision can completely change the direction of your life. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed discovering the incredible story of Elon Musk while improving your English. Keep reading, keep asking questions, keep learning, and remember, the future is often built by people who dare to imagine something that doesn't exist yet. I'll see you in the next lesson.